specific thing.
Hello. We're live, baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good
I just
stuff.
remember
Good
I got
stuff.
it from my character.
Just checking, make sure everything looks good. Looking great on the stream. We love to see it.
Speaking of which, I had to turn on a little bit of music in the background for me, so that way I don't go crazy. But I think we should be good to go.
Crazy.
All right, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ready.
Let's go.
Welcome back, guys.
I gotta be moody.
And last we left off, you have defeated the evildoers in the workshop. And James had successfully convinced you guys to help him out and go to the different escape rooms. You guys were already planning on going to escape rooms anyways, so it's not really like it's any extra work, obviously.
Clearly.
So when we last left off, he had not gone over the different escape rooms, but you guys are gonna go get to hear some of them now. So, just in case, I know you guys signed up already for one escape room and had a specific path in mind, but I did want to re-go over the escape rooms really quick, just in case you change your mind after that first experience and knowing what you're doing going forward. So the three that you are going to be doing are going to be the White Picket Witch escape room, which is centered around like witches who left Salem during the witch trials and founded their own island. There was a different one, which is the Tower of Serpents, where a tower of serpents did some medieval things and caused some chaos in the medieval world. You're fine. Did some evil stuff in the medieval world, and you are a group of adventurers trying to stop them. And then there is the Camelot Trigger, which is an entire world of Camelot, but robots exist at that time. And Merlin and Morgana are in a deep fight over who controls what. So has there been any changing of heart, or are you guys still wanting to go with what the order you originally signed up for, which was, yep, here we go, the Camelot Trigger room.
Okay. As long as there's not a recommended increase in difficulty, I would also very much so enjoy fighting some robots.
As long as I don't get shot again, I don't give a which room we do. So
I hate to break it to you, but I think you're gonna get shot.
Speaking of getting shot,
That's kind of part of it.
can I have my gun back? I earned that gun
Ooh.
for it, Square.
That's right.
no, I have a gun too. I grabbed the revolver, right?
No,
I threw you the
oh,
revolver.
he threw it to you.
And I grabbed it on the way out. I picked it up. I specifically said, Mike, I'm gonna pick this up and put it in my belt loop, like in my belt.
Whatever. I'm over it.
You can have it back. I'm just saying, at least we at least have a gun.
Yeah.
I got my trusty bat. You said this bat has nails in it, right?
Yes. The bat that you picked up from the evildoers indeed has nails, spikes, whatever you really want to call it. But it's for all intents and purposes, it's a spiked bat.
Cool.
Bat with pointy things.
Yes, indeed, it is a bat with pointy things. For reference, I think I've told it to you guys before, but anything you would be carrying within reason, like you would be prepared for, and have like an RP reason to have it, like there's no hard and fast inventory rules for this system.
So, hypothetically, if I had, say, snuck in a lockpick, because I heard we were going to an escape room.
That seems well within reason of your character, especially given your background of being a thief.
Lockpick?
Who's thiefy? Thief?
Yeah.
It's my emotional support lockpick, please.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, it makes sense. As long as you can give me a good lore reason, a good story reason, then I don't see a problem with you having any of those things.
Why does it keep changing back to Magnus? I did a sex change. I'm Maggie. Save.
Sometimes there's some issues with the
I wonder
site.
if it's 'cause- yeah, I was wondering if it's because it's in the main screen, it's still Magnus, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right, guys. Oh, I wanted confetti.
I would like to request some upsetti. real quick.
There's some upsetty.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. All right. Now I am ready to start. I know the two optimal solutions.
To be fair, obviously that's how we should start every single session, is with some confetti and some upsetti.
Just be glad I don't have a trigger to pull the upsetti, because it would be constant.
You guys can't hit a thumb. You guys don't see a thumb down on your screen?
No.
Oh.
Otherwise,
I have the
every
power.
time I inflict a hit,
Oh.
if I had that power and I inflicted a hit, I would immediately do upset.
That 100% sounds like something you do.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna go ahead and go through the normal escape room introduction. I can't promise you guys these escape rooms are gonna stay flawlessly exactly identical to what we intend them to be like. With everything going on, there's a lot of chaos and disarray, but we'll go ahead and go with it. In humanity's far future, a familiar tale is retold. A man named Arthur is crowned king. Brave knights rally to his standard, and in gigantic suits of armor, they clash with the great enemies in battles across the solar system. As the epic struggle rages, the king finds his love and his loyalty tested by his queen and his best knight. This is Camelot Trigger, the romance and intrigue of the classic Arthurian legend combined with the spectacle and scope of giant robot battles in space. We don't really go to space yet, though. Space is too expensive. It's far too expensive to put in an escape room. Plus, also, I'm pretty sure you'd die. Moving on. One of the world's most well-known and beloved stories played out in a setting of sci-fi, action, and high adventure. This escape room we designed was originally supposed to be an adventure to find the software Excalibur. Spelled, all fancy XCL-BR, all the special nerd stuff. That's a theme. Spoilers. It's thought to be the secret to defeating Morgana permanently. Rumors are that it's located on Earth, underneath Lake LDY-01. But the best knights of the Round Table are currently scouring the universe trying to find the hole that Morgana has escaped to. You are brand new knights, fresh out of the company, but you seem to be at the top of your game and are excited to break into the workforce. Arthur has selected you to be trained by the masterful Merlin on this current situation, making sure you're up to snuff. In all fairness, all you should be doing is trying to find out where on the lake the entrance is and just picking up a USB. How hard could that be, right?
Right.
So-
eyes squint.
Especially after everything that's gone on, I'm sure nothing could go wrong.
But isn't our mission? Wait, we're not doing an escape room anymore. Aren't we supposed to try to find these people and murder them? Isn't that our mission now?
So,
Now we gotta find the doors.
kind of yes and no. So what's going on is, here, I have a better way of explaining this. You hear Victoria pipe up. So while you guys are going there, I'm going to be trying to do some research into how we can get to wherever those guys came from. We're thinking that in each area they've left some kind of trace of them behind.
Okay.
I found this little splinter of the door that they came out of, which leads me to know, at least I know what kind of wood their door is, which helps us build a better dordle for getting there. So we're trying to just do whatever we can to grab at whatever straws we can to figure out what's actually going on and if everything's going to be okay in our realms. We're a little worried about that because right now it seems like you weren't the only people targeted. All of our realms are having a lot of different stuff going on.
How many other realms is that?
That we
least
have
3.
publicly available? 3.
3.
How many actual realms do you have though? For Victoria, is it her name Victoria?
Excuse me, it's
Redacted.
Victoria J. Clydesdale.
Like the horse. That's right.
Excuse you!
She hates that. She hates that. Don't say that.
It is Victoria J. Clydesdale, like the Nobel Peace Prize winner. Sir.
We also raised horses.
For reference, we have a lot of different worlds we're working on. On one hand, I think we have 12, but none of them are up and running yet, so it shouldn't be anything too crazy going on in any of those.
Up and running, you have 12 more that you were working on before this just happened, where I got shot.
12
trying to
total.
save the world.
Yes, but 12 total.
So 9 new ones. Okay.
9 new ones
Thank
that we
you.
haven't got up and running yet.
Okay. Thanks, Victoria J. Clydesdale. Victoria K. Clydesdale?
Victoria J. Clydesdale.
J.
So
Okay.
bust in, steal the software, figure out what's going on,
find traces of the
There's a little clue.
crazy dust men.
Bust on out. What kind of security are we looking at when we're going in, or is that part of the mystery?
That's part of the mystery. The realms themselves kind of make things up on their own. Our instructions are only as loose as we can to try and make it as realistic as an escape room. They're not really intended to be missions to another realm and actually saving the universe. So,
Just
you know,
a little bit more information going in on a heist, but I'll make it work. I'll think of
Wait,
my
what do you
feet.
mean by that?
Heist? What are you talking about?
Wait a minute.
Scott should already be well aware. Everybody else, I don't want to talk to.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to discuss it openly with our other friends here, Scott and Talkits. I thought we had agreed that this was not proper talk.
Nice. What'd you steal?
With that, I bust through the door to the next realm.
I don't like that.
That's the wrong door. That's just the closet.
See, now you have to answer my questions because you don't have a way out.
Let me walk you guys down the hall. And I'll show you the room that we have designed for, or the door that we have designed for this. So with that, James goes ahead and brings the rest of you all the way down the hall, around a corner. You know, gotta be sneaky. And you see what looks like a pretty average door, but painted a little bit more old school looking, with oddly like chips of like microchips. So just this awkward, like if a kid was trying to make some like mix match
Macaroni art.
Yeah.
With RAM.
Exactly. So it's nothing like crazy. For some reason, apparently the door budget is incredibly low, but that just works, I guess. And with that, James says, so this should send you to the castle. Should is the key word, but as far as we know, should is the key word. And with that, James opens the door and pushes you in.
Oh.
Very helpful, thank you.
Big.
As you go through the door, bright lights. And you look around and you see this massive courtyard and a very, very peculiar castle. Almost like someone mashed together two different universes. The tall towers have giant guns with digital sights that seem to be able to look like they could lock onto pretty much anything in the sky. The majority of the castle wall looks like it's like solar panels, but bullet damaged solar panels. You know,
Great.
the usual. But it's still unmistakably an old school castle. A strapping young man turns and sees you guys after you get through what looks to have been the gate of the castle and walks towards you with a chipper look on his face. Ah, you must be the knights I requested from the school. I know it was short notice, but time is of the essence. I know you are just fresh students, but I've been told that you were at the top of your class. Before we jump into any final training, any questions for me, your noble king?
Oh, so it's the king. How many other knights do you have?
Oh, we have quite a few. You know, there's a classic. Almost everybody talks about him at school still. Lancelot, Sir Galahad. But they're all across the universe. That's actually why we made sure to grab you guys. Right now, after the victory of Morgana in the war that we just had, she seemed to have disappeared. That's actually part of why you're here. Our knights are doing our best to search for her, but we're not even sure if we found her, if it worked flawlessly to kill her.
So you, just to be clear, you want us to murder her once we find her?
Oh, good God, you're fresh students. You're not going searching for Morgana at all.
Oh, okay.
Do we have an idea of where she's headed, though? So
Yeah.
we can kind of cut her off at the pass?
That's quite an interesting student they sent me. As far as we can tell, we don't quite know where she is. We just know that the last time we saw her was over on Mars. And from there, we were trying our best through scouring every single worm gate, doing every single little bit of work we could to actually hunt her down. As of this moment, we don't have an exact location, no.
Okay, so what do you need us to do? I suppose is I guess the next question.
Oh, sorry. I assumed the knight that I sent to grab you guys from the school would have informed you. You guys are going to be searching for a key piece of technology that we believe to have been buried a long time ago. It's kind of a halfway virus and searching software that helps us find and locate, not only find and locate Morgana, but also the secret to defeating her.
Is
Okay.
Merlin still missing? I wasn't informed he was missing.
I don't know who possibly could have informed you he's missing. He's in all of our equipment. The program Merlin is an incredible piece of software that we've managed to put together. You guys will be meeting him shortly, though.
I look forward to
Okay.
it.
What?
What about Percival?
Percival?
Uh-huh.
Percival's off on, I think we sent him to Venus to inspect that entire planet as a whole. He may be somewhere else, I'm not 100% sure. I leave most of the day-to-day stuff to the knights themselves. They have enough training that they should know the best places for them to be scouting, and whether or not they've fully scouted a planet themselves. But yeah,
Well, I guess should we move forward? Is everyone ready to move forward?
I'm ready to meet this Merlin character, see if I can get more information on the layout. Maybe get a blueprint or something, because I need way more information than this to start planning out a theft.
oh, don't worry. We have plenty of people around the city to help you before we start working on those things, but we definitely need to finish up your training. I know you guys were top graduates of your class at your school, but let's be honest. School can only teach you so much. So, since we've got all that, what's up?
I said heard that. Very true.
Now that we've got...
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just said her. I was just laughing at her that. No, I was
Yes, perfectly in character. All right. Now that we've gotten all of that out the way, let me introduce you to your trainer today and your buddy for the rest of your time questing here. Merlin. He's also the master of the Wormgates, but for now we're going to lock you out of that capability. We kind of need you here on Earth, not, off in the universe right now.
You don't trust us, Mr. King?
That's smart.
You
Delegate.
you do realize you're fresh graduates, right?
I do. It's just you trust us to come and find this specific thing you need. It just seems like you could trust us to handle anything we might need to handle. Same.
I'd rather keep my feet on earth. Thank you very much.
I shall do as you ask, my lord.
I appreciate that. Don't worry. At some point, we're going to train you up, and maybe eventually you'll be able to come back for a different mission. But for now, we got one thing. Well, let's put one foot first, You're all going to be given a selection of helmets, goggles, or glasses. Although you're a little bit confused at first, you're pretty much going to be able to figure out they're for you to wear. So, any specific selections for you guys? Do you want glasses? Do you want goggles?
Goggles.
I will go ahead and take goggles and a helmet. If I can take two. If not, I will just take a helmet.
You can take two, but you won't be able to wear both of them at the same time.
Okay. I will take a helmet.
Cool.
I guess
So-
I'll
Helmet.
rock the glasses since no one else has.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Nah, that's fine. I'll take them. Why
Okay.
is Discord dying?
It shouldn't be.
Say, if we are taking two, then I'd take goggles and glasses.
You're more than welcome to take two, but you cannot physically wear two at the same time because of the way they're designed. The helmet is a full-on helmet. The goggles are a much slightly lighter, more flexible, but a little bit more protection than glasses. And glasses are fully agile, but also don't really offer you any special protection.
Yeah, in that case, I'll stick with goggles.
Sounds good. So I'm writing this down just in case.
I also wrote it down.
Excellent. Mac. Pockets.
Completely out of character real quick. Did my bat transform into anything when we got here, or is it just still a bat?
Have you pulled it out of your backpack yet?
I have not.
Then don't worry about it.
Fair enough.
Can I just real quick just feel the like my belt, my shorts in the back, and just make sure my gun's still there?
As you reach for your gun, you feel a Holt, but it doesn't feel quite the same as the gun you originally remember bringing in. It's still a gun, and it's still a... It was a revolver, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was like a six-shot revolver.
But it seems a little bit more high-tech. Like, you can feel that it just feels a little bit thinner with no firing pin anymore.
Can I just, real quick, in the King, do we have any weapons that you're going to provide us, or are we just going out without any weapons?
My boy, did they teach you nothing about our new armor kits?
No,
You're putting them on right now.
Okay, so
Let's
just the helmet.
go.
I have a helmet? What the fuck?
I put the goggles on.
As you put the goggles on, you see some technology pop up and a huge HUD pop on your face.
I'm going to put a helmet on.
I slam my helmet on.
Nice.
I'm just gonna
Do
wait
we
a
all
bit.
see a HUD, or do we not see them since we picked the helmet?
Everybody who wears them sees a HUD and hears the sound bleep bloop. Red doesn't hear it, but can kind of hear a little bit coming from the person standing next to him. Hail and well met, Sir Knight. Prithee, wouldst thou set a spell and hear the tale? Oops. Sorry. Looks like he hasn't been swapped to the modern language setting. Let me fix that for you guys.
Is there an English setting that I can change this to, please?
Yep. I got that. Sorry. Greetings, Knight. Thank you for accessing my databanks for the information you seek. As you travel through the Worm Gates, I shall be your companion and guide to the solar system. Additionally, I shall be your co-pilot wherever you need my assistance. Which is probably going to be everywhere. Your new suits are built out of the finest material in the land, and are designed to be sleek and assist you however you traditionally handle yourself in the world. This means if your weapons of choice are your fists, the suit can be kitted with extra rockets attached to the fist, allowing an increase in range and additional power. Swords? Guns? We have the technology here to assist as much as possible in combat situations. Now,
How about the exact opposite of combat situations? Is there a camouflage function on this baby?
aha! There's not quite a camouflage function, as even that still evades us to this day. It does help minimize looks, but no invisibility full on yet. We do have quite a bit of other trinkets you might enjoy, though. First things first, let's see how you handle the suits as basic as they are, and afterwards we can set you up with some improvement. He says that, the king takes a couple of steps back and goes back into the castle, and you can see him on a balcony looking over the entire garden. The garden itself has these virtual walls pop up, and now all of a sudden you're in what looks to be... It looks like a real arena, a gladiator arena, but based off of everything else, it seems fair to assume that it's a hologram. And all of a sudden, multiple other robots, it looks like about 4 to be exact, just appear into existence in front of you guys.
So just to be clear, when we put this helmet on, we also now have like a full suit of stuff on.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
While he was going over it, you didn't really notice it because they actually built these really, really well. Those of you who picked the goggles now have more what feels like a skin-tight leather-bound material almost.
I picked the right one.
So it's kind of more on the sleeker side, but still very much has some power to it. Those of you who picked the full-on helmet have much more like a kind of like pseudo-adventurer super suit. That's like, it looks kind of like the old-school suit of armors, but it's from a material you've never seen before. And those with glasses have what looks to be and feels kind of more like a wizard's cloak, but you can feel it's got some more density to it. Like there's actually something going on with it to be able to still support you and your body, despite being what looks like a flowing cloak.
I want to switch to goggles.
Okay. You are now wearing goggles, and you now have the appropriate attire to go with the goggles.
Perfect.
All right, so we got bad guy number 1.
Snap, you got like four. Seems like that's the correct thing for you. But not
I got myself a cat girl suit. I'm the perfect spy.
Perfect. So, can everybody roll for me really quick?
Oof.
Yeah. Oh, I missed.
You missed rolling.
Yeah. 1.
1. Hunter, roll.
I did.
Oh, it didn't show up for me.
It didn't show up for me either.
0.
0? Okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and Training Bot 1 go first then. So, Training Bot 1 reaches behind his back and pulls out what looks to be this massive laser sword. Not like that lame lightsaber you've seen on TV before, but like a full-on medieval sword with some actual laser features on it and a much more technical hilt that looks like it actually might increase the swing speed and those kinds of updates that you would expect from, you know, medieval techno dude bros.
I could just steal me one of those.
Okay.
He leaps what looks to be a way bigger distance than you would have ever expected to be able to cross on feet traditionally, and jumps straight towards who looks to be the most dangerous person there, the giant man in a suit of armor. Smash. He's going to go ahead and make a swing at him.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
It's my turn?
Yeah.
Yep, you have to try and avoid. Well, it's not your turn. You have a counter action towards the robot trying to cut you.
Okay.
So
He swung at me with which
The
arm?
sword.
With which arm?
Which are
The robot with which arm?
Yeah.
He's using both arms.
Oh.
two-handed.
Okay, so
Catch
I
the sword.
That is a laser sword, but make whatever decision you want to.
ill-advised.
I duck and go behind him and I push him over.
What kind of... So you're going to try to athletically do that?
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and roll me athletics then?
Nice.
Was that... And what's your athletics?
2.
2?
Yeah.
Okay. You successfully avoid the robot, and you're able to reposition yourself to be behind him. You're not able to push him over, per se, but he does look substantially off balance from missing that swing to begin with.
Nice.
So we're going to go ahead and have Training Bot 2.
Training.
Training Bot 2 pulls out a gun from
Okay.
behind his back. Now,
Gunbot.
you can tell this isn't just this everyday gun. It's this weird mix between like almost a musket and like a railgun. So it's not fully laser or anything crazy, but it's definitely still gonna hurt. He takes aim and fires at Jared.
That zero.
Red.
Curse me.
Wizard, no!
Ooh. Ooh.
But,
Investigate him.
How would you like to try
There
to
you go.
avoid said bullet?
Sorry, I don't remember what I can defend with.
You can defend with athletics, contacts, that's not a thing, deceive, drive, empathy, fight, notice, physique, rapport, stealth, or will.
All right, I'm gonna try and notice which direction he's pointing and try and get out of the way before he shoots, because it seems like it takes a long time to aim and everything with the gun.
That seems fair. Oof.
Oof.
What's your notice there, bud?
I got a 3, so I got a 1.
You got a 1. Okay. So you seem to must have noticed the wrong direction. It's just not your day today, and you just dived straight into that very, very rapidly sent musket thing.
Red.
You realize that this character must have an exceptionally good shoot.
Targeting system.
Good.
And with that, you take... Actually, you know exactly how much it is. with that, you take a astounding 5 damage to that.
Oh,
I don't even remember how to assign damage.
So you have a couple of so 1 point of stress. So you have different stresses. You can take 1 point for each box, and then you also can take an actual consequence. Now that being said, yes, the consequences are 2. Is it 2, 4, and 6? I believe it's 2, 4, and 6.
Yeah.
looks like it. That's what I've got pulled up right now.
Yep, absolutely. The consequences are mild, moderate, severe, 2, 4, 6. So with those, you can do that. Now, what you notice is you don't directly feel the pain. It's just a temporary hit to your robot itself. Something's not quite killing you with these training bots, almost as if they,
Our training
don't.
bots.
Yeah, are training bots. But your bot itself is very much mimicking the damage as much as possible. So it will inhibit you the exact same way as if you took this real damage.
Okay. Good to know.
You guys don't know that. He's the only one who got shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have a feeling we'll all figure it out.
And stress heals at the end of combat or whatever, right? Or no?
Can I yell like, "Are you okay?" Or I can't because it's not my turn.
Absolutely. No, you can yell. You can communicate during this entire mess.
Are you okay? Are you hurt? Are you dead?
I'm just gasping for air.
All right. Well, can I run? It's not my turn. I can't do anything.
Well, you can tell with a blast that big that he should be in much, much worse pain and not be able to breathe as well as he's breathing. So you know something's not killing him the way it usually would. All of you can tell that from the way he's reacting.
Is Red's damage showing up for anybody else? Just real quick aside, because nothing's showing up on my end.
No, I don't think he's done it yet. So
okay, good.
Yeah.
You can tell from the fact that these are training bots, likely your consequences aren't going to be permanent. But for the length of the fight, you're still going to have to suffer through them. For reference, the normal thing of the consequences is mild will be gone after we do an entire session. Moderate, you can heal up and then make it less of a terrible consequence. Like a moderate one might be broken arm. And then if we properly heal it up with a friend, it'll become a arm and a cast. So that way it's much less terrible. And the after that, the arm and a cast would be fully healed after an entire arc, which is going to be after we finish an escape room. And then the moderate one is the exact same thing, but it's much, much harder to heal. Or severe, I mean, is harder to heal.
Okay.
But it's the same kind of consequence. And would be something like, I'm not 100%, 2 broken arms, I guess.
All right.
Cracked ribs.
Cracked
sounds
ribs,
good,
cracked ribs would be super bad.
I guess I'd just be taken out and try and take a moderate.
So you're going to go take 1 moderate and 1 physical?
I'd be completely knocked out because moderate's only 2.
No, moderate's 4.
Sorry,
Moderate's
mild.
4.
Yeah, I mean, you can take as many other consequences as you want. You could take a mild and a moderate and a severe. And unless they're already filled, you can write something into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll just take a moderate.
All right. What's wrong with your robot after it got hit by a bullet that huge? That apparently makes a motorcycle sound as it came barreling towards you.
that was my robot powering up.
It no longer plays any audio, so it's really hard to tell what direction it's giving me and everything.
That seems fair. So Merlin's very, very garbled and struggles to give you any auditory aid. That being said, at least you guys now know that the training bots don't mess around.
I didn't think they did.
Fuck that train bot.
All right. With that, the training bot 2 is going to go ahead and throw it over to Red. It's not like he can do that much anyways, right?
Sure can. Shoot, I don't even know if I know where my gun is. I might just have to spend my turn trying to find my gun.
Merlin tries to say, if you are on back, typically.
All right. I guess I'll try to go to search my back and see if my gun is there.
You very quickly grab what seems to feel like I'm totally forgetting the word. It feels like a gun. Feels like a specific part of a gun that I can't remember the word for.
That's a sword.
I was gonna say I don't think it's a hilt because I'm pretty sure that's a sword.
Stock.
Stock. No. Is that the thing that you put your hand on?
Oh, the handle.
Hand grip?
Oh, is it just a... Oh, yeah. Hand grip. Duh. Of course. That word that is totally impossible to forget. You put your hand and you feel what feels like a hand grip, but much larger than you're used to. Luckily, with the robot's help, it seems like nothing at all to you.
All right.
What gun do you grab?
What gun? I have options.
I mean, it's your robot. It's tailored to you, believe it or not.
Let's go shotgun. I'm feeling a shotgun moment.
All right.
Shotgun wizard. I love it.
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna shoot the training bot. Wait, I don't know if I can do this at the same time, but can I like look at what weapons the other two haven't like done anything yet? Or
At a quick glance, you can tell that there's still stuff on their back, but it's really, really hard to make out what they are. You'd have to probably full-on inspect them this turn if that's what you were trying to do, but I'm not sure that's what you want to do today.
I'm just gonna shoot training bot 3.
I'm assuming you're gonna run closer with the shotgun, or are you gonna try and shotgun them from across the arena?
Long range, baby.
Long range. We're gonna try it with long range shotgun.
Oh my god.
I see. Luckily for you, Merlin says, buck shells fixed to, and you don't hear anything else, but you heard the fixed to part.
Fixed to.
Because he was complaining about your shell choice in your shotgun. But, it's a little hard to make it out with the damage to your auditory systems. But Merlin's never steered you wrong, so what could possibly go wrong? With that, you go ahead and ready up your shot for training bot, and go ahead and roll that.
I got a 1.
Dang, dude.
Can I give Red my spare pair of goggles?
Got the glasses.
He's still got the glasses. But no, not right now. That would take like a whole turn. Like, I have to make the fight like function as a fight. So with that, your shot barely misses, but it bounces off the back wall and puts this hole in the center of the space that you have.
Giant hole. Yikes.
So sadly, the robot was just too fast and just dodged it, but it didn't. The robots are not exactly masters of spatial recognition, and because of that, they let it bounce straight into this mess of a space that they now have. Who do you want to let go ahead and go next, Red?
Let's have Maggie go.
Oh, let's go. We're gonna test out this cat suit. Alrighty. So I'm gonna use stealth this turn. I'm gonna see if I can't flank some of these guys. Can I use stealth as like a movement thing? Or is that like turning it on and then athletics would be the running?
Well, right now they don't seem especially focused on you, but it shouldn't. Stealth would be more like if you're worried about them trying to hit you.
Well, I'm obviously worried about that. I just saw what happened to Red.
I mean, technically you can spend a full turn defending.
I don't want a full turn defending. I just want to make sure that they won't see me while I'm running.
Since they're not especially focused on you, yeah, I wouldn't. They shouldn't see you, especially given your high stealth, anyways.
So, what are my I'm gonna run you through my idea real quick.
Okay.
As I'm running, I want to pull out my bat, and I want to go towards whichever training bot is closest to that giant hole in the room.
Okay.
Can I run towards them and hit them in the same turn?
Yes, absolutely.
Or am I? Excellent. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. can would both of those be attack, or would my running be defense?
So you get infinite defense. If somebody is attacking you, you always get to defend that attack. You just get a movement and an action during your turn.
But you could use stealth for your attack because you're sneaking up on him because he's not looking at you or paying attention to you.
I'm gonna definitely try that. All right, let's test out this suit. I'm gonna, which robot, oh great wizard, would be described as being closest to that giant hole in the room?
Ah, well, if I do the math, it's quite obviously Training Bot 3.
Training Bot 3 it is. Thank you, Merlin.
Indubitably.
I book it towards Training Bot 3.
As you book it towards Training Bot 3, you realize you have vastly more power in your feet than you've ever felt before.
I'm gonna like this suit. Alright.
You're able to... What are you able to do? Tell me. With this amount of power, what are you trying to do to this poor, innocent Training Bot that has done no wrong?
I'm trying to get on the opposite side of him and that giant center of the hole. I'm going to whip out what I'm still at this point assuming is a bat, not knowing anything else, and I'm going to try and feed him into the hole.
So as you pull out the bat, it's turned into this gigantic laser mace.
Yes.
Care to talk to me a bit about this laser mace? Or is it more of a laser flail?
The maces are the ones that don't have the chain, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's exactly what I want. I'm picturing a almost, it's gonna be like a pulsing purple orb at the end with like spikes on the outside.
Seems
that
good.
May or may not be able to explode. I haven't gotten that far yet, but it definitely looks like the spikes are suspended around this purple orb.
Sounds good to me.
Nice ergonomic handle, not necessarily for like huge amounts of power, but can obviously do some damage with it.
Cool. So you're swinging this gigantic mace at Training Bot 3, right?
Yep.
We're gonna go ahead and go with a fight roll on that then. Did you get a -1?
I did get a -1, so I got a 2.
This time.
Oh no, I got a 1.
You got a wand.
You got you got a what, net 1?
Net
Yeah.
1, yeah, with my -1.
I mean, are you going to try to incur the aspect with a fake point?
I believe I am. Thank you, Merlin, for reminding me that's a thing.
Yes, make sure to leverage that aspect however you see fit. How are you leveraging the giant hole in the center of the room?
I'm going to say that Training Bot is far more focused on trying to take out our beautiful red over there. That he's a little, he's more set up in a pose for accuracy on whatever his next move is going to be it a gun or otherwise. And so he's a little off kilter, and I can kind of catch him off guard with my mace, and hopefully, if not throw him into the hole, at least cause him to trip up.
Sounds good to me. So with that, you hit him right into that hole. He is not feeling so good, and because of that, he takes a modest hit, denting what seems to be the outside armor, but is a little bit dazed. With him falling like that, you're also able to tell that he has on his back another sword.
Excellent. So he's, as far as I know, stuck in that hole.
Yes, and you know that he has taken 1 damage. You don't know how much stress he has total, but you know that he's taken 1 damage.
Excellent. I believe that's my turn.
Who are you passing it to?
And I am going to pass it to our wonderful Scotch.
Hang on, Hunter's getting confused about something. So what happened is he got a -1. He had the +2 to his fight, so he got a 1, and then he used a fate point to get 2 additional onto that. So he got a,
Yeah.
Yes.
that's why he did better. Okay, do I have it now?
But he had to incur the aspect to do that. However, whenever you use a fate point, you have to incur some form of aspect. Whether that be an aspect of the room or an aspect of your character.
So I can use something to his advantage, essentially.
And
Yep.
since I don't have very many aspects right now, I've got steel and trust issues. Not exactly a combative person, so I
mean-
I had to analyze what was going on and kind of use the room to my advantage.
If you discover
Okay,
some
so-
kind of aspects about your character as we play, we can always add that too. Sorry to interrupt you. What was that you needed?
Okay, so from what I can tell, we'd essentially get to summon whatever weapon we want. So I want to reach on either side of my hips and pull out dual pistols.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Awesome. Got them dualies. I want to kind of strafe to one side to where Red is standing and not necessarily use him as a human body shield, but
Buddy,
to place myself just strategically behind him
Well,
after I shoot my guns. So I'm going to shoot my guns and then I want to strafe behind him so that if there are any repercussions after my turn, I could be behind Red.
I see.
I'm beginning to question your
Excuse
your doctoring abilities.
What?
Which bots did you shoot?
I'm going to go for Training Bot 2 because he seems very dangerous.
Well,
So,
I'm a little curious about you. Those guns you got there. Care to tell me a bit more? Are they laser guns? Are they more like those rail guns you saw that the bot himself using? Talk to me about them a bit.
yeah, they're like the rail guns. They got really nice long barrels. They seem like they're very accurate. They look very sleek and nice, and they've got a nice orange looking laser line going up the handle hold. What do we call it? Hand grip. Up to the end of the barrel. So when I shoot them, they actually come out with an orange laser to combat. Because I think he had yellow lasers, right?
How did two people forget the words hand grip?
Don't worry about it. So they're kind of like muskets.
And they've got the nice bottom little kind of like the bottom of the hand grip has like a nice little curve. It looks very stylistic. I would equate them to what the Ghost looks like in
I
in
see.
Valorant, but much sleeker and even a longer barrel.
So it's a longer barrel instead of a silencer. Because the Ghost in
Correct.
Valorant is a silencer.
Super long barrel.
Cool. All right, awesome. Yeah, go ahead and roll me your
Tight.
the words I'm looking for. Roll me your shoot. What'd you get?
I got a 1 plus a 1 for my shoot, so I got a 2.
All right, you want to keep it on the 2?
I couldn't use my deceive, right? I couldn't deceive him to do this anyway. No, yeah, I'm gonna keep it 1.
No, deceive is not an attack thing you can do. Deceive's good for defending, but not attacking.
Okay. I'm gonna invoke. No, I'll leave it at 2. That's fine. So
Okay.
to be clear, I would like to take shots with both pistols, aiming at their chest.
Okay, and you're aiming at Training Bot 2, you said, correct?
Yep.
With that, he is able to sneakily dodge underneath those bullets you send flying his way. This bot seems a little bit more agile than you were expecting, but you managed to dink his armor enough that you see a little bit of a spark coming off of him. It seems like there might be something weaker about him. You're not quite sure what, but something's not as good about that bot as it used to be.
Interesting.
Okay, just turn it.
We still have 2 bots to go. I feel like I should pass it to one of them before I give it back to the Smash. But
I don't know. Smash has got an immobile robot right in front of her.
that's true.
Him.
All right,
So,
Smash.
I-
Throw Smash, try to finish these bots off.
Okay, my turn?
Yep.
Okay. Here's what it is. I reach behind my back. I pull out a laser boomerang. I throw it. It lasers all the robots' heads off. Then I take my giant arms with my giant wingspan, including the robot right in front of me, and I sacrifice myself by grabbing them all and jumping into the pit in the middle of the room.
That's too
And I
easy.
sacrifice myself for the team.
So
I'll roll for it.
that's not no.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I got one. That's great.
There's too many things.
No,
Smash, Smash died a hero.
a laser boomerang, and I grabbed them and I sacrificed myself.
I respect your energy, but that would be far too much to do in one turn.
Also, your strongest,
I rolled a
your
one.
strongest is fight, which is like hand-to-hand combat, right?
Yeah.
What? This is all fight. I rolled a 1 for the laser boomerang.
Okay.
Wait, you're going for a laser boomerang?
Yeah.
I think that he's gonna have to consider that shooting.
Why?
How are you going to use it as a fighting thing would be my question.
Because I'm fighting them.
Yeah, but
That's
fighting
not
like hand-to-hand
how that
is
works.
Fighting's like melee. Range is like shooting, basically.
If
Okay.
if you
fine.
can give me
I'll
like
still at a 2, and I rolled a 1, so it's still a 3. That's pretty much it.
okay, and I can't have you hit. Okay,
That's 2 out of 4 robots.
I got you. So it can hit all the robots, but it lowers every single time it hits a robot, or it can hit 2 and not and lower once.
What?
So you can try to hit all the robots, but after the first one, it lowers by a substantial amount, or you could have it try to hit 2 robots and it only lowers by 1.
Okay, 2 robots.
Cool. Which 2 robots are you aiming at?
2 and 4.
2 and 4? Sounds good. So we're gonna roll for robot 2 first.
I only sacrificed
Ooh,
myself
0.
13.
And you ended up getting a 3, right?
Yep.
And then rolling for robot 4.
Fuck.
That's fine. So
Didn't ricochet as well as you hoped.
you hit robot 2 squarely in the chest.
All right.
And with that, you're able to see some damage start to form on the suit.
Nice.
But it's a laser boomerang, so it says slice him in half.
The-
Am I wrong? You guys laugh.
Well,
But-
Red
but-
Have you
didn't
ever
get
seen a
shot.
laser boomerang?
Red didn't get shot. He just got dented.
yeah, I was going to say, these suits of armor are technology you've never seen before.
Hunter just wants me to die.
No, I'm just saying it's
I was
all
gonna say,
laser. Laser
think
in
Hunter,
half.
if it
Go
cuts
red.
them, it cuts me, and I'm dead.
I was going to say, if it cuts through an entire training bot, it would have completely demolished his suit with a giant, like, musket.
They're not in the training bot.
But earlier he got shot by one of them with the same.
Oh,
Oh. Well, this is dumb.
Well, it's the future. If you have that weapon, of course they're also going to have the technology to fight that weapon, too.
I'm just saying, do you know how lasers work?
Yes, I do.
But I made up that they just cut people in half.
That's not how that works.
Okay, what happened to the 2 bots?
Um,
Got physical stress.
Yep, and the second bot is thrown off kilter. Nothing too crazy, doesn't really do any full damage, but you can tell that something's not quite right. That bot has some noise going on.
Nice.
Whatever, I'm just saying I just tried to sacrifice myself for you guys. Someone else should do it.
I thought you had no empathy. Why would you do that?
Okay, well, someone with empathy, jump in the giant hole, okay?
So, just because it's a giant hole doesn't mean everything just dies going in there. Robot 2's already in it.
Behind me like I'm a
Giant-
human shield.
Giant black hole.
Oh, good lord, no. He just blew a hole in the floor, that's all. It's not like it goes to the center of the earth.
You said we were in space.
No.
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 Oh.
Also, Micah, speaking of, it's training bot 3 with the sword. That's you should have bottom of pit.
Oh, it's training bot 3's in the bottom of the pit?
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta toss it to either 3 or 4.
So, what's wrong with Training Bot 2 now?
Training bot 2 took some damage.
Some? For fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
Some.
I fucking boomerang lasered his ass.
I mean,
I laser maced one, and all I did was shove him.
That's so stupid.
this is a training exercise. You can't just, like, one-shot training exercises. Then there'd be no point in any form of combat.
Big I am. I should have giant guns on the end of my hand, like fucking Baymax
But no,
in Big Hero 6.
you went for a boomerang.
Exactly, but you chose instead to throw a boomerang.
Because I got a laser people in half. Guys just keep taking away all my stuff.
I didn't take it away. I just said that it has to be reasonable power.
Okay, fine. Can I have giant arm shooters like Baymax and fucking cut his ass?
Not anymore. Next turn you can.
I was saying it's too late.
All right.
Next time I'll ask more questions about what my weapons can do, I guess.
I mean, no matter what, they're just going to be weapons at the end of the day. There's no way I can't just give you this magical ability to be so powerful you could one-shot every single character. Then there would be no combat.
I'm the size of a Hulk. I just can't stress this enough. Okay, whatever. It's Training Bot 4's turn.
Okay. So Training Bot 4 is a little sad, a little tilted, and is trying to shake it off a bit. You see Training Bot 4 pull out another sword. These bots seem to be just huge fans of swords, and I can't blame them. They're pretty nifty looking.
They were raised by knights. Of course, they like.
That's also pretty darn accurate. They're traditionally for knight sparring partners. We're lucky we even have one with a gun. And with that, we see Training Bot 4 go ahead and sprint over towards Red, because he can't see Scotch behind him,
My boy.
and he's gonna go ahead and try to swing at Red.
Okay, I want to try to help since technically he's attacking right near me. Can I do that?
Technically,
Doctor,
no.
Deploy overshield.
You
Damn
can.
it. I'm right behind him. I can see the attack coming.
Yes, you can. But that also means he couldn't see him, or he couldn't see you, so he was like, well, I might as well go for the guy who did some... Wait, no, actually, you didn't do anything. He would definitely go for pockets.
No.
So he go ahead and runs on over to pockets and is like, bleep bloop.
Bring it on.
Hey man, just because Merlin can speak in common tongue doesn't mean all robots can. Don't be robophobic. And so he's going to go ahead and take a big ol' wide swing at you with this sword that he's got. How are you going to try to avoid it? And you do have time to try and... oh crap, that would have been bad. You do have time to try and, while he's traveling towards you...
I can clearly see that he's coming at me.
Yes.
On that case, I'm gonna see just how good this camouflage is and try to turn that on and roll to the side.
Roll to the side, like into the hole, and like hang off the edge side, or roll to the side and like try to play Toro like he's some bull running at you.
Let's do hanging into the pit. I don't want to hit the ground of the pit, but also I really don't want to get hit by this sword.
All right, go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
Stealth roll.
What's your?
Boy,
Is that a 4?
boy's at a 4.
That's pretty great. It's pretty great.
This suit is amazing.
Yikes.
So he comes charging at you, swinging, and has no clue and just goes barreling over the cliff right into the bottom of that hole. So right now there's
Olay.
2 bots that are in the bottom of the pit. And he is quite confused and has yet another weird issue going on with him now. He must have some bad targeting systems. He must have something frying, but you guys are making this bot go nuts. After bot 4, we're going to go toss it over to bot 3, who's at the bottom of the pit.
It's the latex bodysuit.
Yeah.
It's driving wild.
Apparently, you see this bot have to actually spend a lot of time just getting up and trying to figure out what to do from here. They have to spend their entire turn just trying to get out of the pit back up to anybody. But they're no longer in the pit.
Go. No. Get back.
So training
All right.
about 3 rounds in the pit. Is that what happened?
Training bot 3 was at the bottom of the pit and no longer is.
I don't know where.
We don't know where the training bot 1 is, or training bot 3 is.
Okay.
That being said, training bot 1 is still right next to Mac and is super not happy about how much Mac is just, well, 1, just being a beast and not taking any damage, and 2, that laser boomerang was very, very threatening, trying to go after 2 of his buddies. So he's going to go ahead and try to take another swing back at the Mac Daddy.
Okay, and
That's what MD stands for, right, Mac Daddy?
Mac, Daddy.
So I can respond.
Yeah.
Yes. How are you going to try and dodge a 2-handed sword-wielding robot trying to swing at you?
What are the defenses again?
Athletics, deceive, drive, empathy, fight, notice, physique, rapport, stealth, and will. Will probably wouldn't work on this one, just for a heads up, because it's not a mental attack. That's mostly what will is intended for defending against. What's up?
What's physique again?
Physique? That's like your just like how muscular and beefy you are.
Raw power and durability.
So probably fight then.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'll use fight. What did he do? He just like swung at me.
Yeah, swung it with the sword.
Okay, well, I'm gonna duck under his sword and then stab him in the back with my boomerang.
But
I got a 3.
you got a 3 for fight? Okay. So his sword narrowly misses you. You're not quite able to get a stab off, but
Yeah, I got a 3.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
they're all surprisingly good. But also, that's not actually a thing you can do. There's no counterattacking in this, unless you like severely overroll them with your defensive roll.
Okay, got it.
But with that, the bot just swings and a miss. Doesn't do anything crazy. It slightly burns the ground in front of you, where you see the sword just slice through the dirt. But other than that, nothing really.
I turn around and I say, "What?"
The bot is thoroughly shaken by your what?
I'll roll for it.
Whoa.
He's definitely
That's a
shaken.
good What?
Okay, who's bought one? Toss it to Micah.
Bot 1 is going to go ahead and toss it to the giant hole in the center. I'm just kidding. Let's give it to Red. He can't hear anyways, right? What you up to, Red?
I noticed that Quincy's behind me, though, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna try and go behind him.
Damn it.
Step by
And then-
step.
Yeah, just shoot my shotgun at bot. Well, which bot's the closest?
If you shoot me in the back, I swear that all is good, Red.
So,
Did try to use him as a meat shield.
bot 2 is still all the way across the room where the bot started. Bot 1 is right next to Mac, so it's very likely to be the closest one to you. Bot 4 is in the bottom of the pit, and bot 3 just climbed out of the pit. So, for reference, you guys...
Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna try and shoot at bot 3 to try and shove him back in the pit.
Yeah,
Wow.
Back in that pit.
Are you gonna run close to
Get back
try and
there.
use like a
Shotgun,
a
please
more
run towards him, Dalton.
Huh?
Solid idea.
Red, run towards him, not away from him.
Yeah, but you're behind me using you as a human
Well, why don't you-
shield.
First,
had
and
plans
then go behind Will.
There you go.
Fine, yeah, I guess I'll move up to him before I shoot.
So you're gonna run up to bot 3, who's next to the pit, and try to use the shotgun with an actual traditional shotgun shell, a buck shell or buckshot.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you trying to use it more to push him into there with that power, or are you just trying to do raw damage?
I'm trying to push him into it.
Seems good.
Back
Seems
in.
good. Go ahead and roll some shoot for me there, bud.
It's gonna be bad.
Ho,
Look at
ho,
us three.
ho.
Get back in that pit.
Do you want to use any fate points to demolish them even harder than you already did? Because they're right next to that pit,
Yeah, next to that pit.
and every time you go one above their thing, you do more damage.
Sure, yeah, I'll try to invoke the aspect of the... No, wait, can I invoke
The pit.
an aspect of like another, like since the training bot sword is on the pit, can I have him try to fall on the other bot? I don't know if that's an aspect or not.
I don't think that's an actual.
Do you mean like the one that's in the bottom of the pit and use the free invoke that's on Training Bot 4 to have Training Bot 3 also fall on? If, assuming you make it, fall on him?
Yes.
Yes, but that would only do something to Training Bot 4 and wouldn't actually increase your against Training Bot 3.
We'll just stick with what I got for now, I
Okay,
guess.
cool. So you had a 4, right?
I had a 3.
Your shoot's only 1?
Yeah, my shoot's only 1.
Got it. So bad news. The bot is unhappy with you. Those shotgun shells, man, apparently they're just really, really bad, and they went all wide. You see dirt all around him scatter and start to break. He does slip and has to grab onto the ledge. But somehow they all missed and hit the dirt instead.
Bigger pit.
The pit's larger now.
Feed the pit.
Cool. So the training bot 3 is still grabbing on the edge. So if at the start of his turn, it'll just have to use that for movement. But much, much easier to push fully into the pit now. Who do you want to throw it over to, Red?
I'm ready to get hit by Training Bot 2 again.
No,
All right.
my boy.
Training bot 2 thinks, man, I'm 1 for 1. This sucker's going to take another bullet to the chest.
Oh no.
Wait, just before we get to Training Bot 2,
Yep.
with that last turn,
Mm-hmm.
because there was one for the shot, and then the other part of it was going into the pit. Because the first one was the shot, they still fell, but the second one didn't do quite as much damage, or what's going on there?
Are you asking what happened with Red's shotgun blast?
Well, because I thought you rolled a -1 and then also 1. I thought it was for the shot and then the pit.
No, I only rolled a 1.
Hmm.
I did not roll a -1. I rolled a 1.
Yeah, I think the -1 was the turn before.
Okay, cool. I couldn't remember when you rolled that one. Never mind. Ignore me.
Cool. So Training Bot 2 apparently doesn't also realize that there's anything going wrong with the shots. I spelled athletics wrong. I mean, no, I didn't. Look away.
Athletics.
Nah, see, it's perfect.
It's the future.
Training Bot 2 tries to aim down the sight, and it seems a little busted, but it's okay. You know, he's been firing guns his entire Training Bot life. He grew up with Training Bot guns all over his house. You know, it's a natural thing to him. What could possibly go wrong trying to shoot a Training Bot bullet at, Red sitting over there? Red, how are you?
All implanted memories.
Hey, Red, how are you going to avoid this bullet that is going to be flying down the barrel towards you?
Use the cloak.
Use the cloak.
I will. No, because my note, I'd be paying attention to the bot that's not in the pit, like only halfway. What are the other options? Different? I keep forgetting.
Stealth is an option.
Stealth is indeed an option. Do you need me to read the options again?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and use stealth and use like the dirt that I stirred up, hoping it just obscures my the vision enough that he can't hit me.
Cool. Go ahead and roll. Oof.
I'm just dead, guys. I'm just dead.
So do you want to use a fate point to do literally anything you can think of? Let's talk about you. You're well read and practiced in survival, right? How are you gonna utilize that to help get yourself out of this sticky situation you got going on here?
Think. I'm just gonna try and dive into the pit.
Okay, you're just gonna dive headfirst into that pit and try to jump on out.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're gonna take away one of your fate points, and that gives you another +2 to that. Do you want to try and use the fact that you're also good at survival for anything else?
No, that's it. My instincts are telling me to get down in the cover.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and give you a bonus one, especially because down in that pit, it's going to be a harder spot to get out of anyways, so you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, but it should come with the fact of you have a little bit of a better time this time. That bot still hits you for a pretty sizable 2.
Damn it.
Which means you can now tell that the bot's shoot has gone down sizably.
Ooh, nice.
Your attacks earlier have done some damage to its systems, for sure.
Wait, so it hit me with 2?
2 damage, yes.
There you go, buddy.
Okay, well, I'm just like, I think I'm just passed out in the pit at this point.
Oh
Oh
no.
no, you can.
What? You could take a severe.
You can take a mild.
No. Is
No, he
dead?
already took a mild.
No,
Just
he took a moderate.
I took a moderate.
Oh, you took a moderate? Yeah, then you can take your mild.
I guess, yeah, I'll take my mild.
just to recap, Hunter went up to go to the bathroom, and she comes out. She goes, "Oh no, Dalton rolled a -3. No."
Oh, you know what? I think that calls for this.
No,
Upsetting.
upsetting.
That was your visor cracking, Red. You're gonna be at the bottom of this pit and can only see out of your right eye.
Why did you roll a -3 for?
Avoid the shock.
Yeah.
Oh
Oof.
no, so you're dead?
No, he has a cracked visor,
Yeah.
and I think 1 more damage.
No, because a mild.
Oh wait, yeah, sorry, no, you only took 2, right? Yeah,
Yeah, so
sorry,
you still have
that's
two
just a mild.
physical
Yeah.
And a full severe.
Alright,
Oh.
and then as a free action, I'm just gonna yield to the robots in the pit. I'm just done. I want to be out of here.
Yikes.
Don't
No.
worry, I got
We can defeat him.
you.
You hear Merlin say, "Oh dear."
As audio works.
Well, it is a training after all. You feel your suit start to repair itself, but also start to shut down, so you can't continue fighting in this battle anymore.
Oh, Red.
You did make that decision, right?
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay. You still technically have a severe. I'm just throwing that out there.
No.
No?
No.
Unbelievable.
With that, you gain, because you have 2, you gain 3 fate points.
Nice. Nice. Solid.
All right. So who are you throwing it over to, Red?
Well, it's bot. Training
No.
bot.
Oh, sorry, you're right. It was Training Bot 2's turn. Training Bot 3 is going to go ahead and take their turn and climb on out of that pit.
Get back in this pit!
And is, instead of spending the turn attacking the dirt in front of them, meandering on over to where Pockets is. Are you still hanging on the side of the pit, Pockets?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm still on the side of the pit.
So Training Bot 3 makes his way over there and stares menacingly at you and preps to swing for next turn.
Ah, you can swing now. Bring it. Get me off this wall.
I laser shoot him off.
I just want to be clear. I gave you the chance to not have him swing at you.
Yep, bring it. Because if I'm hanging off this wall just like he was, I'm gonna have to do the same thing he did, which means I won't be able to attack.
So, well, no, because he's standing in front of you now.
Yeah, so if he attacks me, I can drop to the bottom of the pit.
And then just, like, go full-on ninja on Training Bot 4? Got it. All right, so Training Bot 3 goes ahead and swings at you with the sword. We'll go ahead and see. What are you trying to do while you're hanging off this to not get hit?
I'm gonna let go.
That seems pretty reasonable.
Oh,
Can you go ahead and give me a roll real
It should
quick?
drop me out of the range of the sword and get me closer to Training Bot 4.
Can you give me an athletics roll?
Athletics or I can't use fight as D.
You can use fight as defense, but you'd have to give me a good explanation about how dropping from a pit is fighting.
Fighting instincts, baby. It's the way to be. It's
I-
positioning myself on the battlefield to inflict more damage.
See, my friend, I'm pretty sure there's 2 different instincts, fight or flight, and I have an odd feeling like dropping into a pit is a lot more of a flight.
I accept your outcome, and I will roll for academic. No, I'm kidding.
Academics? Your athletics isn't that bad.
oh.
I got a 1.
I was gonna say, you probably could do crafts, or do you want to try and do deceive? Can you argue
I'd
a way to do deceive? Go for it for me.
Well, I can still accept the 0. That would give me a 2.
Cool.
I
So,
don't even have to roll again. But deceive, I make it look like I'm pulling myself out of the pit, and I push myself away.
yeah, sounds good. I like that idea. So you're still, so you're deceiving that you're falling into the pit, or you're deceiving that you aren't falling into the pit and then falling into the pit. Where are you?
I'm making it look like I was going to pull myself out of the pit, and using that momentum to push myself back into the pit.
Cool. Because of that, he completely whiffs his blade swing, but you were not fully prepared for landing back in that pit. You are a little bit dusted and not worse for wear, like a little bit bloody knuckles from landing on the ground. Nothing serious at all, but you are also now right next to Training Bot 4.
Perfect.
You probably aren't going to
Well, I
be
wanted
able to move very far next turn, if at all.
I don't want to.
With that, let's go ahead and let you have a shot.
Let's go. I'm going at Training Bot 4. Bring it.
Cool. Roll for it. Well, how are you attacking him?
I'm assuming I'm basically right in front of them, right?
Yeah, you fell in front of him because it wasn't, you didn't really get to choose where you fell.
Yeah, I figured landing at his back would be more optimal. So, landed right in front of him. I'm gonna go both hands on the mace, and I'm gonna swing it up at the bottom of his head.
Up at the bottom of his head.
Where his robo jaw would be.
I see. Okay, go ahead and make a roll for me.
Would be my fight roll, which should be a +2. Going for it, baby.
Cool. You want to use some of those free invokes to blow him out of the water?
Yeah, you best believe it.
Are you using both or one of them?
Just one of them.
Okay. So that'll put you up to a 4.
And then does that remove a fate point?
No. So free invokes are completely free.
How do I know where they is?
What the free invokes? They're underneath the bad guy. I already checked it for you.
Oh, beautiful.
So now that you know they're free, do you want both of them?
Yeah, I don't think anybody else can attack this dude, so
Yeah,
take
yeah.
them.
Cool.
Use them both.
Tell me, how are you using the fact that he was already down at the pit and kind of dusted up and keeps being on the fritz? How are you making some advantage of that for me?
I am going to say that he was slightly distracted by red shot earlier, and as it was making it into the slightly larger giant hole in the center of the room, me landing in front of him, he was looking down as I was swinging up, and it let me get a more solid hit on him.
Nice. And I think you also had a bit more of an element of surprise with all the dust that was gathering from you falling and also Red blowing away that dust on the top. Seems pretty reasonable to me.
Love it.
So let's see if he's able to sneak his way out of this. Ooh, no, he's not. You are gonna smack him for 4, which is with style. You beat the crap out of this kid.
And I look good doing it.
So not only do you do 4 whole damage, you see the robot start to shut down and start sparking everywhere.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Your mace seems to be taking some power from this.
Vampire mace.
It doesn't look like it's going to be anything permanent, but you might be able to use it to zap somebody right in the second and put some moves on them to help your teammates out for the next time a teammate does something.
Let's go.
Are there any specific... Robot Training 3 is close to the edge, and then you know that Bot 1 is a little bit confused by Mac. So what you want to do, bud?
Sorry, I got a phone call literally right in the middle of that, and I'm silencing it.
No worries. I mean, unacceptable.
Yeah, run me through that again real quick.
So you basically got this magical Thor's hammer from just beating the absolute crap out of this boss. You're going to be able to essentially lightning strike some people. Now, the one that's close to the edge might be able to get a little bit more shock out of it. But other than that, it's pretty much all free targets to give your teammates some help by shocking those robots and giving them a free invoke from that lightning strike.
Excellent.
Who do you want to go ahead and place that on?
Let's see, who hasn't gone this turn? Actually, no. Red, you said you were giving up, yeah?
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah.
You're putting on a bot. It's going to be a free invoke on the bot because you're going to strike them with electricity.
Well, I'm trying to...
Bot 2 and then pass it to me. I have a plan.
Yeah,
Ready.
I was gonna say I was thinking through who's gonna go next and then who can't go. So I am feeling Training Bot.
Cool. So you use that power that you just got from Training Bot 4 shutting down. to go ahead and get a free invoke, striking lightning from the sky, and it just shing right through that bot. That bot has some stuff going on, and boy, has it really clearly impacted it. Who's going next?
Tossing it over to my boy, the man with the plan, Scotch himself.
Okay, cool. I'm not sure that I can actually do this, but I have a plan and I want to see if I can do it. Because technically it would require 2 different skills, but I think I can justify it. So,
Okay.
what I would like to do is my movement. I'm going to transform my gun, and again, I don't know, these guns seem like they're pretty malleable to do whatever we want. I'm going to hit the top of it to put a giant spike into the ground so it's like steady, so that it's very secure and like has a lot of steadiness to it. And that's going to be my free invoke. I'm invoking my ability that I have a nice steady hand. I've always had a nice steady hand for my lifetime, and so I'm using that to help increase my steadiness for my shot. I want to take my left, that's my right pistol. My left pistol, I want to shoot to the left of Training Bot 2 to deceive him into thinking I'm trying to shoot at someone else, so he looks away, and then I would take a shot at him with my right pistol right at the head.
Yeah, sounds good. I would just have that roll as a deceive overall then.
Perfect. That's why I want to make sure since I'm shooting, I can still do it.
Steady
What?
hand also while you're doing this.
Free invoke, and I'm doing a fate point.
Oh, you're gonna also be doing a fate point. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it sounds good to me.
Okay.
Man, it's a good thing you did all those. What's your base roll?
So it'd be 1 plus then 4, so 5 technically.
So 5 total? Okay, cool. Man, you demolished this kid. You see that bullet just shing as the training bot looks to try and figure out what you're trying to do, and thinking you're a fool. How could you miss a shot this close? All of a sudden, the training bot feels oil. Oh God.
Feels fear for the first time in its robo life.
And it's just flowing everywhere.
Hell yeah.
You have, with style, defeated this bot. And because of that, the lightning bolt jumps on over to Training Bot 1.
Perfect. And you know I'm passing it over to old Smash there to
I mean, you literally don't have a choice.
figure out. Yeah, true. Your turn.
Smash, you ready to smash?
Yeah, smash.
You can also change weapons. Do you not have to keep your
Oh, I'm going to.
Okay.
Believe me.
All right. What's
I
up?
smack my fists together, and it activates my Big Hero 6
fists.
fists. They're
So-
giant guns on the end of my hand, and they're huge. And I put one on top of the robot's head and one up his ass, and I shoot inside his body. Double guns. I'm gonna go for it.
So you want shoot?
No, you want to fight,
No,
right?
fight.
So then they're not guns.
Yeah, they are. I'm fighting with my fists.
Pneumatic fists.
So you
Okay.
can't shoot
So you want like
them.
pneumatic fists then? So like crush it between your fists?
Fine, they're giant spikes on the end of my fist, and I put one up his ass and one through his
There you go.
skull.
There it is.
And I use fight, and then I tear and rip him open.
Um,
Rolled a 0, by the way.
Are you swinging towards Robot 1 or Robot 3? I'm assuming 1 because it's the one right in front of you.
Yeah.
And then
Cool.
use that free invoke, yeah.
Cool. So you have 3 right now, and then plus the 2?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
So,
Oof.
free and poke.
I did, yes, you did still use the free invoke. You do quite a substantial amount of damage. You definitely feel the robot starting to rip apart, and this is 100% damaging that robot, and you can tell it hasn't seen many training days where it's been this harmed in its life.
Good, because I put a spike up your ass.
And with that, that'll be the round. Who do you want to pass it to? Smash?
I'll pass it to Training Bot.
No. Okay.
No, we're done with that?
Well, it's a whole new round, so all 4 of us can technically go.
Yeah, everybody can go now. It's a completely new round. You can hand it to everybody other than yourself.
I'm not letting them have
And me.
Well, and Red. Red's technically tapped out.
Okay, so I'll hand it back to Pocket. Back to Pocket.
pockets.
Oh boy, it's still at the bottom of this pit. Dreambot 3 is the one that came after me with the sword, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Training Bot 3 was the one who came after you with the sword. You are at the bottom of the pit right now, to be clear.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need you to know. So what are you doing? Wait, who's going right now? Is it for sure
That's
you?
what I'm trying to... I believe so, yes.
Cool. Sorry, I gotta click to make sure I'm keeping track of who's playing.
Gotta figure out what I can use to get out of this pit. Because what I'm thinking is, I'm gonna have to use one of my actions as a move to get out of the pit. I probably get myself some pretty nifty rocket shoes and disguise it as crafts because I'm ingenious. I know just what I can use to get out of this pit.
Mine was
Seems
I
fair.
also want to do damage. Trying to figure out how I can jump out of this pit.
If you get a
Use
crafts
my
roll of
rocket
3,
shoes.
if you get a crafts roll of 3, I'll let you do that. I'll let you do both an attack and because you're using your crafts to be rocketing up out of there. Because we're not so sure that actually. Do you have drive?
I don't have drive.
Okay, never mind then. Yeah, we'll go ahead and let you use the crafts. You were tinkering with your. Wait, wasn't that Jared?
I was red. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of the 3. There we go. I was tired of looking at the -3.
Fair. I was like, that's not you. If you get a crafts roll of 3, I'll let you do that. So it's gonna be what is your craft space? Yeah, it's gonna be reasonable because you're pretty crafty yourself, but at the same time, there's definitely an odds of you failing because this is a new suit of armor. We don't know yet.
Yep.
So let's see if you
Absolutely.
know enough about these rocket
I've come
boots.
up with the idea. I've come up with the idea. Now I need to try and put it into action.
Oh, and your follow through nails it. So you tell me how you're jumping up with these rocket boots to be able to actually land properly and swing at this training bot.
Oh, I don't want to swing at him. I want to put my rocket boots on his face
I see.
and kind of like push him with them. Because I know these rocket boots are powerful. Because he was swinging down at me, so I'm assuming he's kind of bent over the pit, so I can kind of do like a half a bicycle kick into him.
All right. So you managed to get up there with those rocket boots, but this is going to be a hard kick to nail. That's for sure.
Yes.
So we're going to have you roll a pretty hefty. It's going to be a hard challenge to properly bicycle kick, especially because these are new suits for you. You did manage to get the rocket boots working the way you thought, but that doesn't mean you're good at driving with them yet. So go ahead and roll me a fight.
I was gonna say, is this gonna have to be a drive, or can I use it as a fight?
No. You gotta fight. Yeah, it's fighting because you're still bicycle kicking.
And this is gonna be a second roll, and this time it's gonna be against Training Bot.
Yes.
Beautiful.
All right. What is it?
It's a 2.
It's a 2. Yeah. No, training bot sees it coming from a mile away. You just kick square plantly into the dirt. There's plumes of dirt going everywhere, and it's a little harder to see now. There's probably dirt that's gonna get in your eyes at some point if we're not careful. But there is just dirt thrown up everywhere. From not only your rocket boots, but also the fact that you just tried to bicycle kick with rocket boots that you very clearly don't know how to rocket kick with yet.
I'm fine with it. Dirt thrown in air. Alright.
Who are you throwing it to?
I could throw it back to Smash, because that sword dude is pretty hurt, still right in front of him. Right? Because
Yes.
Hunter technically hasn't gone this turn.
Yes, that is true.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and do that. Hunter.
All right.
Okay. I use the dirt thrown in the air to be sneaky. He can't see me coming. I duck, and then from the back, I Judy chop him with my giant spike arms in the back and rip out some more wires, and hopefully kill him.
All right, go ahead and roll me a fight.
Roll it.
Oof.
Oh.
Do you want to incur a fate point on that dirt aspect that you were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, whoops.
I got you.
Okay.
You can't add them back. Only I can.
Oh.
No worries. I know what you were supposed to be at. All right. Wait, what does this button do? Oh, it just rolls. That's stupid. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you. What's your net? So that's 0, and your fight's 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she got a net 3.
So you got a net 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you'll demolish him. He is out, knocked out completely.
The last guy. Come on, Will.
I have another good plan. I again don't know if I can do this. You're gonna have to tell me if I'm dreaming here, but I have another good plan here. Okay.
All right, I'm listening.
So I'm feeling this suit, dude, and I feel it has a little more capabilities than we know. So I'm going to invoke 2 things at once using deceive. I'm going to send out a hologram of myself, essentially, like a bot. Think of it like myself as a bot running straight at training bot number 3, and camouflage myself so I'm invisible, and then like roll to the side and throwing knife him in the chest.
So I'm thinking, rather than camouflage, do you think you could use the dirt thrown in the air everywhere to try and?
Right, yeah, I can hide myself, but my main point is I want to use the suit's abilities to create like a hologram, so it makes it look like I'm running at him from one direction, and I can move another direction I'm throwing.
Cool. And you want to use 2 fate points to incur 2 levels of bonus. Is that what you're saying?
I'm using the suit's abilities. I would say, is that the first one? I want to use a fate point for the moving through the dust well.
And then how are you in? Talk to me a bit about your background and why you know so much about this suit. Like, what makes you able to look into the suit and say, "Wow, I think I'm super in tune with this suit, this technology. I understand it to the point where I know that it can do this."
Yeah, well, for my living, right, I have to be able to figure out how people work, and technology is not much different, right? I'm trying to figure out how these different aspects of this new equipment we've been given can work in another way. So everyone else has been, fighting other people. I've been kind of sitting here and feeling the different aspects of the suit. I can see that I can move my hand and also leave my hand in the same place at the same time. So I'm feeling that I have the ability to make the suit appear as though I'm doing something even though I'm not.
Okay, go ahead and add the aspect to you, what makes you tick. Because that seems to... Does that seem to fairly describe the kind of aspect that you believe you have? You kind of understand what makes you tick. And then I'm going to say, we're going to give you a stunt, and your stunt is going to be once per... You can incur... Let's think about this for a second. Once per round, you can incur a technological feat, specifically when you have technology in your hands, and you can overcharge it. Does that sound good? Once per...
check.
What's up?
Overcharge tech once per round.
It wouldn't be once per round. It would be once per session.
Once per session. Perfect. So yes, I'm using that stunt.
And that'll go ahead and give you a... So if it's once per session, that can give you a +2.
Hell yeah.
All right.
And I'm using my skill of deceive here, right? Because I have to sell them on the fact that I'm...
You can either... So what's the move you're trying to ultimately do? Are you trying to shoot him ultimately or fight him ultimately?
Shoot him, essentially. Yep.
Okay, then ultimately you would still be rolling shoot. You can't... you can only attack with only a handful of things.
Okay.
So it's going to have to be shoot at the end, but you're having a huge advantage because... So we're taking 1 away because you're incurring the aspect of the dirt thrown in the air everywhere.
Perfect.
And then you're also incurring your stunt. Does that sound good? Cool.
Sure.
Go ahead and roll me a shoot with a +4.
Nice.
So that's 2, 6.
All right. So the bot can only... There's only like... Oh, wow. Okay, that's the exact roll it needed to get. So the bot apparently is just not having any of it. Was like, gotta crank my visor settings as high as possible. Wait, hold up. You rolled a 1, right?
I rolled a 1 and then added 5, so it's a total of 6.
Your shoot's only 1?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought your shoot was higher than that. That's my bad. Yeah, no, the bot is like just cranked up to 11 after seeing all of his friends die. And the visor turns on and is seeing everything going on and sees right through your hologram and manages to very last minute step out of the way. And
But get him because he was still 3 ahead of him.
Yeah, but he has, I'm sure, some athletics at all times.
yeah, the bots have stats. You guys didn't investigate to see what their stats were.
Fuck.
Didn't have a chance. I was too busy dying.
Although
Yeah, I was
you
gonna say, you're dying at the bottom of the pit.
you're making a pretty good guess what the stats could possibly be if he rolled a 3 and matched a 6.
So he's got a +3. Athletics. Probably.
Cool. So I believe it has to be the bot's turn now.
Correct.
Cool.
Sorry, team, I tried.
No, you definitely did. Nobody can fault you for that. I mean, these bots are supposed to be tough nuts to crack. This is a brand new training regimen for you guys. Is brand new. Like just taken, and they need you to get up to speed as fast as possible with these robot suits. So it's designed to be tough. They're not throwing any punches for you guys. That being said, this bot is definitely swinging some swords at you guys.
Bring it.
Scotch, you just recently pissed this man off, this robot off.
Fuck.
He comes out full swinging towards you.
He's got a sword, right?
What's up?
He's got a sword.
Yes, he does.
I'm not that athletic though.
Yeah, how do you want to avoid it? I should have asked that before I rolled, sorry.
You're good. You're good. I don't think I can do anything with empathy. You can't use a defense, can you?
You can, but that you'd have to make a really good argument for how you're being empathic towards this robot.
Okay. Well, then I think I got to deceive him again. Cool. So he's swinging a sword at me. I am going to deceive him by like throwing my arms up like I'm scared, and I'm gonna be an easy target for him, and then fall to the ground to try to avoid the sword.
All right, go ahead and roll me that deceive then.
Oh,
What'd you get?
3 total. Net 3.
It's a swing and a miss. The dirt must have gotten his robo-visor and gotten straight between his targeting reticle and you, and that sword just right beneath where you were, right over where you were. You successfully just made him think, oh, of course he's going to be here. There's no way he could react this fast. He's a silly flesh bag. So he's going to reset it, and since he can't give it back to himself, let me do that. He will go ahead and give it to Mac.
Back to you.
Okay.
Schmack
So-
and cheese.
For my movement, I'm gonna turn and look and notice that the robot that is like open at the back from my smashing, I see an off switch. And then for my movement, I'm going to
Attack in your fight.
I'm gonna run in there with my giant things and try to turn the off switch and smash him as much as I can as I turn off his switch.
You can go ahead and try to make a fight punch to punch in the back of that robot that's facing Scotch. And what is that?
3
Is
total.
it 3? The robot is able to dodge out of the way right as it hears you coming behind him. The thud, thud, thud of your robo steps. He turns and looks and sees, man, that doctor is gunning for my back, and just steps a little bit to the side and makes you run so a little bit past where Scotch was. And now you guys are standing right next to each other, next to the robo.
I'm on the ground though. I fell to the ground. Right?
Oh yeah, that is true.
Okay.
He ends up, you end up leaping over where he is to not step on him because you're not that mean to poor old Scotch.
Could I have used academics instead?
No, to attack you have to use one of the core attack stuff.
I'm using my brain to notice the off switch.
But you couldn't actually attack him. Then it would just be like you noticing something.
Which would arguably be
Okay, well,
noticed.
pockets, you gotta be sneaky. Come on, we gotta finish this fucker.
Oh boy.
You can
All
like
right, so
use.
there-
Let me just say something. There are other things you can do other than just straight up attacking during fight. You can try to notice things and try to create an advantage, but that falls under either creating an advantage or overcoming that. So like if you want to create an advantage and say, hey, I noticed this on the robot, you can use that and put something that then instead of your attack that turn, you would do something like that and it would add an invoke. Like that kind of thing would happen.
Got it.
So just a heads up. There are multiple options. You don't exclusively have to attack.
Okay, Pockets, finish this guy. I'm done. This douchebag. He's fucking sneaking out of everything.
He is a little slippery, ain't he?
He is.
Just like you.
Indeed,
so
indeed.
hopefully you can defeat him.
But sneaky snake.
We'll sneak a snake.
Trying to figure out because I don't think I can classify it as a security system, so burglary is not doing me much good here. But I can.
If you can make a good argument for creating an advantage under that, you could try to create an advantage under that. Those are things to take into consideration. Again, your only choices aren't attack and defend. You can also overcome obstacles and create an advantage.
I'm gonna see in that case if there's a way we can blind him using my almost encyclopedic knowledge of security cameras. Typically, the first thing you do when you're trying to rob a place is make sure you can't be seen.
Absolutely, that makes perfect sense. So, you're going to go ahead and try to roll burglary, thinking that visor looks a lot like a security camera that I've blinded before. Let me try doing this exact same kind of scenario.
Yep.
Cool, go ahead and roll for it.
Yeah.
Oof.
Wow, I got a 2.
Oof. 2 should still be enough. Good God, your burglary is high. 2 is enough to
What
get
I'm
you
good at.
an invoke. A single invoke.
Send it over. Let's do it.
You're able to get a little bit of scratching on his lenses, and you can tell that with that you tell me, how do you get that scratch? With everything you see around you, what are you doing to get that little bit of scratch using your burglary? Your burglary knowledge, that camera. Are you trying to throw some dirt in his eyes specifically? Are you trying to... do you have like a laser pointer in your back pocket?
You know what? Yes, I do have a laser pointer in my back pocket.
Ah, the classic
For some
tool.
reason.
I mean, it's a classic tool for disabling cameras.
That's true. It is normally quite useful for those.
I definitely feel you. You shine it right in the eyes of that poor training bot. He had a kid.
Not for long. He doesn't.
It's Quincy's turn.
Yeah,
Well, sorry. Do you want to pass it to
Scotch
training
is-
bot or Quincy?
Absolutely not.
Quincy, it is. What you doing,
Can I
Quincy?
attack with athletics or no?
Can you attack with athletics? No. It's fight, provoke, or shoot.
Okay. I think I can still use shoot for it. So, what's provoke?
Provoke.
Like,
Well, yeah, it's kind of more like intimidate.
so I wouldn't actually attack him. I would just.
If you can make a really good explanation for why this robot is genuinely afraid for you, these robots seem relatively intelligent.
Cool. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is with the semi-blinded visor, I'm going to do almost kind of like a backwards somersault. When I get kind of angled in the air, my feet are pointed right at the head of the robot. I'm going to shoot my boot rockets at him to try to make him like shoot it back into the hole and do some crazy damage to him.
All right, so you're going to be using a
Back-
shoot roll then?
Shoot
Yeah.
roll that free evoke that he's not going to be able to see it coming.
Okay. So that's a +2 your shoot roll. So go ahead and give me that shoot roll.
2, so 4.
4
Get
total.
back in that pit.
Oh, you're able to hit him. So you are able to knock that dude back into that pit and do some damage while doing it. He absolutely did not see that somersault coming out of the air. Man, that was really, really stealthy. He is now knocked down into that pit.
Back
Are you
in
not
that.
dead yet?
Yeah.
Health
No,
up.
he's got like 1 net probably.
Oh,
You guys don't know because you didn't investigate.
He's got 12 left.
Yeah.
I mean, you know exactly how much health the other ones died on, so it's reasonable to guess. So it is the training bot's turn. The training bot makes some sad beep boops as it is knocked down into the pit and is like, well, I can't really do anything from down here, so decides to climb all the way back up and use that for their entire turn.
Second training bot.
Good. Good thinking on that pit.
We're going to go ahead and pass it over to Pockets.
All right. Let's see.
Hey,
Okay,
training bot can't pass it back to himself. Got to start somewhere.
true. Still got my mace. Still got my trusty old laser pointer. Laser guided mace. Now, if I were to throw a mace, would that then become shoot, or would that still be able to be classified under fight?
I mean, do you not have another gun in your back pocket?
No, I never picked up a gun. I had a bat.
The suits, dude. The suits can do anything.
Yeah, but I like my.
I don't know
bat.
about anything, but the suit definitely came with some stuff. I would be curious. I would say yeah, you could use throw with, or you could argue shoot to throw technique.
Well, I don't have shoot.
Oh,
That's
is that
why
what
I'm
you're trying to
holding
ask?
gun.
You could just run towards him. You still have the movement at the start.
All right,
Nobody's stopping you.
let's run up to this dude and clock him on the jaw. Yeah, it seemed to work with the last one, so I'm gonna try and clock him. Because he's like right at the edge of the pit, right?
Yes, you guys keep knocking him into the pit, so he's climbing back out and then getting knocked back into the pit.
You best believe I'm gonna try and bonk him on the head, get him to fall back in that pit.
All right. Let's give me some swings, boy. Are you using any? Well, here.
Back in
Are you
that-
using
Oh,
any fate?
I am now.
So you try to swing, but what are you doing?
With my laser pointer in the other hand, as I'm swinging up, I flash it into his eye.
Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and make that an aspect for you. Your trusty laser pointer.
Aspect.
I got you.
Oh, thank you.
So you're gonna go ahead and invoke that trusty laser pointer of you. I took away your fate point, so that's a net of how many?
That would be because I'm doing a fight. That'll be a net of 4.
Your fight is 4?
No.
Oh, sorry, your fight's 2.
Yeah, my fight's
Okay.
2.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I'm like, what? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
With that, you
so
manage
that'll
to.
get me back up to.
Yep, it gets you up to 4 total. Wait,
No.
no, it gets you 2.
Okay. No. Then I'm at 2 total.
Okay. You miss. Sadly,
Okay.
the robot saw that coming and just jumped right on top of it, and got some sparkles going everywhere because he literally jumped on top of your mace. So there's some
mace.
sparks on the ground all around you, some burnt floor. It smells very smoky almost. But you did not succeed in hitting the robot.
Unfortunate. Let's throw it back to Scott.
I got it. We're
What?
gonna do a little double team here. Don't worry, it's gonna be great. Okay, I want to use deceive again to pick up some dirt and throw it in the robot's face to blind it again.
Okay, go ahead and roll for me.
Okay.
Oof. What's your net?
0.
You try, but that dirt just cannot go far enough. You apparently underestimate or overestimated the strength of your robot, specifically when it comes to throwing dirt particles in the air.
Or the strength of the dirt.
Case, I'm gonna run my movement. I'm gonna run and crouch behind his legs, good old playground style.
I see. Okay.
So now you can attack him and knock him over.
I'm assuming you want Macaroni to play.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to do what?
So you want Mac to go, right?
Yes, Mac, smash. You can do
Well,
whatever you
where
want.
am I in comparison to you guys?
You just punched him a bit ago. Or you tried to punch him a bit ago.
He was in the pit, though.
No, he climbed back out.
I know, but I don't know where he went.
To the exact same spot he was knocked down from. Because he's trying to hurt you guys and he's only got a sword.
Well, I don't know what to do now. Because I don't want to
Go-
hurt you.
Sorry.
You-
Just
just
hurts.
attack him.
I guess I'll just. Let me see. Because I was going to try to use my academics.
You can't attack him with your academics. You just have to learn more about him then. You can either attack with your fight, your provoke, or your shoot.
Okay. I'll just I will cross my arms like a ninja and uncross them across his whole body with my spike laser arm and like kind of push him backwards, like go through him so that he will trip over Will.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll that fight for me.
1.
Plus
So 4.
3. Yeah, 4.
So 4 total.
Yeah.
With that, you successfully push him down into that pit, and you see him fall backwards into the pit and just completely shatter across the
Nice,
ground.
baby. Kicked his ass.
Robot's natural predator.
Robot's natural predator. That is more than fair. And with that, you start to see the hologram disappear, the ground fix itself, and all of you be reunited at one spot in the center of the room.
I'm gonna give a big high five to Mac.
Woo.
Nice, nice.
Wait, so the robots weren't physically there?
Everything was a hologram. Don't get me wrong. Holograms do damage here, especially because your robots play along with the fight.
Yeah.
And the training bots were semi-realistic. They got some weird technology nowadays, man.
I thought they were real. I was
Caliber.
I mean, they're at least partially real. There's
yeah.
you could feel that the
Camelot.
pain of being hit for sure.
Yeah.
So after everything comes back down, you see the king himself at that top, who was watching the entire time, just
What?
I see that. Just clap. Sorry, I don't know if you could hear the claps. I guess Discord does not like clapping over Discord. I was clapping. You just hear him clapping in the back. And he says, well, I see that they didn't lie about your guys' skills at the academy. I understand that some of you aren't necessarily catered towards the fighting skills themselves, but you really did put up a whole hell of a fight. I'm
Right.
thinking you guys are going to fit well. We're going to start working on all of your different suits and help either set them up to fix the issues you had or help advance the skills that you personally want to enhance. So we're going to start working on that. And we will work on that next time.
Damaged?
No. It was all a hologram.
Does that mean we can add to our skill level?
That is going to be something we're going to work on next time. The improvement of the robo suits, what all that actually means for you guys. That is going to be something we're going to tackle the next one, because it's getting towards the time that we wanted to wrap up. And I said we'd try to shoot for 2 hours today.
Can we just
Hell
have,
yeah, dude. That was a good little
Yay!
session.
wait, can we just have a few like character discussions maybe real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to talk to like Smash real quick. All right. Hey Smash. Wait. First off. Do you like the name Smash? Like, is that something you enjoy doing?
I like to be called Smash. 'Cause
You
I
like to be called
Smash.
Smash. Interesting.
What about you, Red? Like to be called Red?
I mean, been called that since like elementary school. You know, kind of just stuck with me and everything.
Good.
It's just, I mean, heck, you're a heck of a fighter out there. Do you Smash?
I work out.
You work out. Nice. What do you do for a living?
I'm a bodybuilder. But I also teach at my local college because I'm
You're
super
a
fucking smart.
doctor.
Say you're a doctor.
Oh yeah.
The doctor bodybuilder.
There's also fucking Bill.
Man, this is a badass doctor.
I have a PhD in benching.
But I also do brain surgery, so I'm a basic guy.
I just bodybuild my free time.
When I'm not doing brain surgery.
Life-saving brain surgery.
I
think
flex the tumors
like
right
a-
out.
It's like if Doctor Strange and the Hulk had a baby. It's me.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So
Yeah,
then,
I'm
like,
pretty-
I kind of forgot why are you a patient? Because I know we're all patients of a Scotch, but
I'm just sorry. I can cut and answer this one for you. Not to take it away from you, Smash, but I'm just trying to teach him how we don't always need to smash. Correct? We don't always need to smash. Sometimes it's smart to just use that insane brain that you have to save people's lives with that brain surgery also to your advantage. So
Right. Smash fun.
anger management, I suppose, would be the
Smash fun.
best way to put it.
But
Would you
not
agree,
always
Smash?
smash.
Anger management is probably the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, that's a interesting doctor-patient confidentiality clause you got there,
Yeah,
bud.
he kind of.
Out of the world
for a second too.
guys from another universe, so I've kind of thrown that out the window at this point.
That's
I
fair.
don't think that man's a real doctor.
You come to my practice, I won't smash.
I fix.
Cool, very cool. Yeah, I think I just want to talk to Smash really quick.
Cool.
I don't have anything else.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to do for your last little discussions before we wrap up?
I don't
Nah,
think
let's
so.
peace out this bitch.
I want to take a quick moment to just raise some morale around the group and just say how proud I am of everyone who really fought their heart out, used abilities to give us that win in that
But
combat.
mostly
Really
me.
love all of you, and I think you did really well. Red, don't be ashamed of what happened. I think that you did so well. you used that time to really
All right.
think about how to get better as a fighter in the future. So I think we all did really well. I'm really proud of us.
Sounds good.
Yay,
Sounds
good
good.
job, guys.
We did alright. I'm proud of us.
Yep. Good job. I got my notes for today, but I appreciate it. Oh, wait. You swapped, by the way, Scotch, from a helmet to leather, right? To the goggles?
Yeah.
Good to know. Which I definitely keep writing as Googles.
Google.
Yeah, you got those fancy Googles.
I'm digging
Got them.
my latex suit. I'm keeping this. You best believe when we're done with this world, I'm gonna try and smuggle this thing out of here.
You can definitely try your best. But yeah, next time we'll pick up where we got back off with some more social interaction and actually doing actual conversations and actually progressing, things.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right, guys.
You're a game master of mastersness games.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to post that in the middle of combat. I was definitely waiting till after.
Whoops.
All right.
See you next week, Ronnie.
Ooh.
Yep. See you guys next week.
Later.
Peace.
Yeah.